how are you guys? You know these guys, they understand Hebrew. I'm asking them whether they are okay. Hi, this is Veronica. You know that today's video I'm heading to Mount Carmel, where Elijah the prophet challenged the prophets of Baal and Asherah. During the time of Elijah the prophet, the king that was ruling by then was King Ahab, and King Ahab's wife was called Jezebel. And by the way, King Ahab is recorded in the Bible as the notorious. He was the most notorious king that ever lived in the history of the Bible. So we are going to where Elijah the prophet challenged the prophets of Baal and Asherah and killed all of them. So my journey starts here at the kibbutz. Kibbutz is a place where you have the livestock. And these ones are bulls. Wow.
To buy something, go there to check.
Here you can buy cheap.
All this.
Natural. Wow, gum this rice, the rice. Basmati. These are olive oil. Wow, I like this one. 90 shekel.
They give discount for Filipino.
Okay.
Tell them you're Filipino.
Of course I'm Filipino.
These are used for the faces.
For the face, yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
organic.
I know this one. Butter body. Ah, wow, this one I'll buy.
Yung shampoo conditioner, 3 for 50 shekels.
3 for 50 shekel? Oh, you're free. I'll buy.
And this is organic.
Organic. We are visiting today the book of 1 Kings, chapter 18. Let's read from verse 1. After a long time, in the 3rd year, the word of the Lord came to Elijah. Go and present yourself to Ahab, and I'll send rain on the land. So Elijah went to present himself to Ahab. Remember, this is the 3rd year, and Elijah had prophesied that there will be no rain for 3.5 years. Now the famine was severe in Samaria, and Ahab had summoned Obadiah, his palace administrator. Obadiah was a devout believer in the Lord. While Jezebel was killing off the Lord's prophets, Obadiah had taken 100 prophets and hidden them in 2 caves, 50 in each, and had supplied them with food and water. Ahab had said to Obadiah, "Go through the land to all the springs and valleys. Maybe you can find some grass to keep the horses and mules alive, so we will not have to kill any of our animals." So they divided the land they were to cover, Ahab going to one direction and Obadiah in another. As Obadiah was walking along, Elijah met him. Obadiah recognized him, bowed down to the ground and said, "Is it really you, my Lord Elijah?" "Yes," he replied. "Go tell your master, Elijah is here." "What have I done wrong?" asked Obadiah, that you are handing your servant over to Ahab to be put to death? As surely as the Lord your God lives, there is not a nation or kingdom where my master has not sent someone to look for you. And whenever a nation or kingdom claimed you were not there, he made them swear they could not find you. But now you tell me to go to my master and say, Elijah is here. I don't know where the Spirit of the Lord may carry you when I leave you. If I go and tell Ahab and he doesn't find you, he'll kill me. Yet I, your servant, have worshipped the Lord since my youth. Haven't you heard, my Lord, what I did when Jezebel was killing the prophets of the Lord? I hid 100 of the Lord's prophets in 2 caves, 50 in each, and supplied them with food and water. And now you tell me to go to my master and say, Elijah is here. He'll kill me. Elijah said, as the Lord Almighty lives, whom I serve, I will surely present myself to Ahab today. So, verse 16. So Obadiah went to meet Ahab and told him, and Ahab went to meet Elijah. When he saw Elijah, he said to him, "Is that you, you troubler of Israel?" "I have not made trouble for Israel." Elijah replied, "But you and your father's family, you have abandoned the Lord's command and have followed the Baals. Now summon the people from all over Israel to meet me on Mount Carmel, and bring the 450 prophets of Baal and the 400 prophets of Asherah who eat at Jezebel's table. So Ahab sent word throughout all Israel and assembled the prophets on Mount Carmel. Elijah went before the people and said, "How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him." But the people said nothing. Then Elijah said to them, "I am the only one of the Lord's prophets left. But Baal have 450 prophets. Get 2 bulls for us. Let Baal's prophets choose for themselves. Let them cut it into pieces and put it on the wood, but not set fire to it. I will prepare the other bull and put it on the wood, but not set fire to it. Then you call on the name of your God, and I will call on the name of the Lord. And I will call on the name of the Lord, the God who answereth by fire. He is God." Then all the people said, "What you say is good." Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, choose one of the bulls and prepare it fast. Since there are so many of you, call on the name of your God, but do not light the fire." So they took the bull given them and prepared it. Then they called on the name of Baal from morning till noon. "Baal, answer us," they shouted. But there was no response. No one answered. And they danced around the altar they had made. At noon, Elijah began to taunt them. "Shout louder," he said. "Surely he's a god. Perhaps he is deep in thought, or busy, or traveling. Maybe he's sleeping and must be awakened." So they shouted louder and thrashed themselves with swords and spears, as was their custom, until the blood flowed. Midday passed, and they continued their frantic prophesying until the time for the evening sacrifices. But there was no response. No one answered. No one paid attention. Then Elijah said to all the people, "Come here to me." They came to him, and he repaired the altar of the Lord, which had been torn down. Elijah took 12 stones, one for each of the tribes descending from Jacob, to whom the word of the Lord had come, saying, "Your name shall be Israel." Remember my last video that I uploaded, it was about Bethel, the place where God changed the name of Jacob to Israel. So here Elijah refers to Jacob as Israel because his name has already been changed. With the stones, he built an altar in the name of the Lord, and he dug a trench around it, large enough to hold two gallons. He arranged the wood, cut the bull into pieces, and laid it on the wood. Then he said to them, "Fill 4 large jars with water and pour it on the offering and on the wood." "Do it again," he said, and they did it again. "Do it at that time," he ordered, and they did it at that time. The water ran down around the altar and even filled the trench. At the time of sacrifice, the prophets, Elijah stepped forward and prayed, "Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, Let it be known today that you are God of Israel, and that I am your servant, and I have done all these things at your command. Answer me, Lord. Answer me, so that these people will know that you, Lord, are God, and that you are turning their hearts back again. Then the fire of the Lord fell and burnt up the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, the soil, and licked up the water in the trench. When all the people saw this, they fell prostrate and cried, "The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God." Then Elijah commanded them, "Seize the prophets of Baal. Don't let anyone get away." They seized them, and Elijah had them brought down to the Kishon Valley and slaughtered there. And Elijah said to Ahab, "Go eat and drink, for there is the sound of a heavy rain." So Ahab went off to eat and drink, but Elijah climbed on top of Carmel, bent down to the ground, and put his face between his knees. "Go and look toward the sea," he told his servant, and he went up and looked. "There is nothing there," he said. 7 times Elijah said, "Go back." The 7th time the servant reported, "A cloud, as small as a man's hand, is rising from the sea." So Elijah said, "Go and tell Ahab, hitch up your chariot and go down before the rain stops you." Meanwhile, the sky grew black with clouds. The wind rose, a heavy rain started falling, and Ahab rode off to Jezreel. The power of the Lord came on Elijah, and tucking his cloak into his belt, he ran ahead of Ahab all the way to Jezreel. Wow. Amazing. Wow. Welcome to Daliyat al Karmel. And this area, by the way, the people who live here, they are Druze. They are Israeli Druze. And these are religious and ethnic minority among the Arab citizens of Israel, but they are not Muslims. And their religion, the Druze religion, are called the people of monotheism. Anyway, and they believe, one of their beliefs is that every day, from Sunday to the other Sunday, every day is a holy day. So there is no day that they have put specifically, like in Judaism, it's a Shabbat, from Friday sunset to Saturday sunset. But for the Druze people, they say every day is a day that is holy before God. So that is why today is on a Saturday. We came and I'm like, wow, why the market? Then I understood that they are every day. There is no day that they rest. And by the way, the Druze community or the Druze people, they don't intermarry. They don't eat pork or smoke or drink alcohol.
Mount Carmel. Famous location concerning the battle of Prophet Elijah against the false prophets of Baal and the prophets of Asherah in the book of 1 Kings chapter 8. So merong monastery dito under the Franciscan order, and they are the responsible religious group in maintaining this place. Mount Carmel. Ayan, so bababa na po tayo. Hip 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 hip.
Wow.
Knockdown ng barangay.
We are so tired, I think.
Mukhang tinamagan ng uppercut ni Manny Pacquiao.
So guys, welcome to Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel, where Elijah challenged the false prophets of Baal and Asherah. It's a monastery. Oh my God.
Pero 205 na.
Yeah.
Ay, ano ba? Hindi naman. Saglit.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
100.
Yes, please.
Philippines here in Israel.
Yeah, working.
Yeah. Tourist.
No, not tourist.
Not
Eh,
tourist. You live here.
Yes. Okay, o tara, lapit dito mga kapatid.
Prophet Elijah. Prophet Elijah. You know my father's name was called Elijah?
Ha?
My father's name too was called Elijah.
Elijah, o lapit na namin dito. Bigyan ko lang kayo ng konting background. Okay, dito muna tayo sa shade. Ay, dito malong-long. Ay, dito nakakalat mo. Kasama po namin pala si Muhraqa. Okay. Dahil lang natin si Brother Joel. Bro! Okay, mga kapatid. So, bigyan ko lang tayo natin.
תגיד לי, יש תיירות?
תלוי איסה בסהר, إذا سهر בסדר.
Kishon Valley. 1 Kings chapter 18 verse 40. Where prophet Elijah killed or slaughtered the 450 prophets of Baal. Verse 21, Elijah's charge. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long hast thou between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him. If Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. Then Elijah said unto the people, I only remain the prophet of God, but Baal prophets are 450 men. The God that answered by fire, he is God. And he gave time for the prophets, the false prophets of Baal and Asherah, to call upon their God, mocking them. Call him again. Shout, maybe he's sleeping. All this, he mocked them. But their God could not cause fire to the sacrifice. But when called unto our God, the Almighty God, he came and burnt the offering. So it's on this mount, it's here at Mount Carmel. I need a good lookout of Azrieli Valley. Azrieli Valley. Wow. Mount Carmel, Sharon, Kishon River, Mount Tabor, the Transfiguration, Hill of Moray, Afula. Jerusalem on this side, Judea, Samaria,
Мне понравился тот. Он высоко здесь очень, это самое. Высокая планка.
and of course Tel Aviv. And Caesarea on this side. That was amazing, guys. Thank you so much from Carmel Mountain. Thank you so much. Yours, Veronica, and I'll see you again in a few days' time. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate so much, so much. God bless you so much. I'm humbled by your love and your support. Thank you, guys, from Carmel Mountain, where Elijah, the prophet, challenged the prophets, the false prophets of Baal and Asherah. I love you guys. Wow. Now we are going back to Tel Aviv. This is our group. Pastor, thank you so much. You are really amazing. You are doing good job, you know. God bless you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Welcome.